Hello, y'all. Bear with me for my dark video. I don't have a light anymore, so until I can afford to get a new table light, this is the best I can do. So I got an LED above me that I thought was going to help, but apparently you have to be in like the perfect spot where it shades your face. So for the first video today, something I've been wanting to review for a long time and just somehow never was able to get my hands on it. Modelo Chelada. I was scared it was gonna spew. Um, um, why is it pouring? Okay, whatever. Um, I'm a fan of Modelo as a beer. If I had to drink beer, like my beer taste varies. I like different beers for different things. If I'm just out in the yard working on a hot day, cutting grass or whatever, Miller Lite. If I've got the money and I can afford it because it's harder to get here, Hams, because I have to drive about an hour away to get that, and then I can only get it in 4-pack tall boys. But as far as readily available, Miller Lite. And then if I'm at like the beach or I'm having like a barbecue and I want to be fancy, Modelo. Um, but I'm a fan of Bloody Marys and I'm a fan of tomato juice and all that kind of stuff. So I've always wanted to try this. I've had Chelada in the past, but every one I've ever tried, people have told me was garbage. And then I think I made one years ago, like an actual one with like Miller Lite and I think Clamato or something, and I liked it. But I've been trying to find one like in a can because ain't nobody got time for it. So I didn't pour the whole thing just in case I hate it. Um, Smells good. Smells like I'd expect. It's got a nice tomatoey aroma, but also beer. Wish Miller Lite would make one. It smells more tomato juice than Clamato. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know the ingredients, but just off the nose, it smells like tomato juice. Cheers. Ooh. Oh. Oh. Give me a minute. Oh. So on the palate, it's everything I wanted it to be. 95%. Looking at it, yes, well, you can't see it in the camera, but with the light going through it, it looks almost see through. And here, it's kind of thick and red. Um, but regardless of that, it's very tomatoey. Like the cheladas that I've had in the past are more beer heavy than they are mix. And I didn't care for that because for me, if I want a chelada, I want to taste tomato and beer. This is a perfect mixture of that. What I also really like about it is you can taste the Modelo. And maybe that was what my issue was in the past because anytime I've ever drank one in the past, it was, excuse me, um, there was too much carbonation, not enough tomato, and no beer flavor. It was basically like if you took flavored water, or not flavored water, carbonated water, and then poured like a shot of tomato juice in it just to make it that color and then drank it. Like there was no flavor, but there's a lot of carbonation. That's kind of what it was in the past. This is exactly what I want. If you've ever had Modelo, you know it's kind of heavier, A lot of carbonation, some bitterness. You get all that. Every bit of the Modelo. But you also get really nice, thick tomato juice. Like, in my opinion, the perfect amount. My only complaint, if I had to make a complaint, this is just me being nitpicky. It's perfect in my opinion, but I think the Modelo itself is too much for this. Just because the Modelo is a heavy beer. Now, the reason I say that is, to me, a Chelada is a summer drink. It's kind of like the beer version of a Bloody Mary. And if I were to drink this, I mean, this is just me being fat. I'd want to drink 2 or 3 of them. But the Modelo being such a heavy beer, it's filling. Like, I drank maybe half of this or a third of this, and I'm already feeling the heaviness in my stomach. That's just the Modelo, and I think that's probably the carbonation. Realistically, if I would have poured it straight into the glass instead of tipping it to let out some of the carbonation, it probably would have helped. But realistically, I mean, the whole point is you're supposed to drink out the can, I would assume. So you kind of can't let out the carbonation if you do that. But that's, like I said, just me being nitpicky. If I could swap this beer to Miller Lite, because Miller Lite, in my opinion, is a little bit lighter, and it's not as heavy, then it would get 100. But other than that, it's a 95. And I mean, to be perfectly honest, I don't think you're going to find anything better than this on the shelf. I mean, you're talking about a canned product. I think this was like $2 at the gas station. And it's, I don't see it, 24 ounces. The only way you could make it better is if you made it homemade. Like, seriously. In a can, going fishing, having a barbecue, having a party. It can't get a better. Maybe add like some tahini or some beer salt. That's just perfect. Because as it hits your palate, you just taste Modelo. It's like drinking a beer. But as you swallow, it's like swallowing tomato juice. And as a fan of tomato juice and V8 and all that good stuff. Oh God, that's good. Now I will say this. This was in my fridge, and then I set it out, and then got everything ready to do this video. So I wouldn't say it's room temperature, but it's not fridge temperature. So it might be a different story if it was in a cooler full of ice. Because, as some of you may know, especially beer drinkers, a drink that's been sitting out versus a ice cold, in the cooler, covered in ice drink, completely different. So maybe on a hot summer day, when this thing's sitting in the cooler and it's good and ice cold, it might be way more refreshing than sitting for 10 minutes out of the fridge. Because the can's not even cold anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it's a little bit down here, but it's not even cold. When I got it out, it was ice cold. So keep that in mind. Otherwise, I think it's fantastic. I haven't had a whole lot of these pre-mades in a can, but I really don't see anybody beating it, because that's pretty darn near perfect. It says it's tomato, salt, and lime. It's pretty darn delicious. I'm honestly almost tempted to add some salt. Maybe some tahini. Because that's really good. Maybe even some pepper. But, yeah. It's pretty dang good. So, if you get a chance and you're a fan of Chelada, or maybe you're a fan of Bloody Marys and you've never had a Chelada and you like beer and you like Bloody Marys, give this a shot. It's pretty good, in my opinion. But who am I? Just some fat guy sitting in his kitchen. Excuse me. And for the random people that complain about my burps, I don't edit my videos. So if I burp in a video, I'm sorry. But yeah, I can't, stop myself from burping. I try my best. But yeah. That's it. Until next time. Y'all stay blessed and be blessed. And yeah. Next video.